Welcome back to K Sports Sunday. As we're now going to go to the NFL scores right now here. As Atlanta beat New Orleans, or New Orleans beat Atlanta, my bad, 31-27. TJ still sad about that one.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay beat San Diego 34-24.
We got Denver over Carolina, Peyton Manning putting in a big performance again, and Baltimore just slaughtering Oakland. I sat Baltimore's best receiver in this game in fantasy football.
All right, now we're going to go over to the back talk set with Jason for some Celtics news.
All right, thanks, guys. So the Celtics, they are 3-3. They improved last night after beating Milwaukee 96-92. Kevin Garnett, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Pierce led the game in points with 25, also had 9 rebounds. Rondo with a double-double, 10 points, 10 assists. Jeff Green had 12 points and 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and also an assist. So Celtics, they've beaten Washington twice and Milwaukee. They've also lost to Milwaukee once. What are your impressions on the Celtics?
I think the Celtics they're doing okay. I mean, they should have won that first game. What was it? A few nights ago, Saturday night, whoever it was.
Against Milwaukee.
Against Milwaukee, they only lost by 6. That was a close one, but I think the Celtics are doing okay. Their defense is getting better, and I think that Pierce has been performing, and Garnett too. And Rondo is continuing his assist streak with 10 assists or more in every game, which is pretty good for him. And I also think that Garnett's been doing pretty good too. So Celtics will be okay.
Yeah, Tom.
I think the Celtics have been doing a little below average because in the wins they've really barely gotten out of the games.
Right, but I think it shows that their mental toughness, that they'll be able to win
their
these close games. Right, their experience with Garnett. And I think they still need to mesh. I mean, you have new guys, Jeff Green.
You got to give this team time because, last year it took time until after the All-Star break, I believe, and they really caught fire down the stretch last year. So I think that's going to happen again this year.
That's all what's going to happen. They're an older team, so they give them some time to mesh with the younger players, and they'll get better.
Yeah.
Right, just some new players to mention, Jared Sellinger and Fab Melo, who they both drafted out of Ohio State and Syracuse, respectively. Jeff Green, although he was technically with the team, but he was out the entire season with heart surgery. They also added Courtney Lee and Jason Terry. I think what they need to find out is what are those players' strengths and weaknesses, and how can they help the teams. How does Rondo, Pierce, and Garnett, how can they help them? How does Rondo, being the point guard, when does he give the ball to Jason Terry? Is it in clutch situations? Is it early in the game? Is he better at three-point? Is he better down low?
They got to learn that stuff.
Jared Sellinger. So I think they just got to experiment in the first half of the season. And I agree with you, Tom and Benji. Like you said, I think they will explode in the second half of the season. So do you think the Celtics will make the playoffs?
I think they'll make the playoffs. Obviously not the best team in the Eastern Conference, but I think they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll make the playoffs and do pretty good in the playoffs. They're not going to win a finals, of course. Well, maybe. But I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, all right. And Benji, I believe you have some Celtics highlights to go to.
All right, so we got the Celtics.
Rondo to Kevin Garnett on the alley, 10 assists on the game. Rondo, 42-37, Milwaukee in the third quarter.
I can't see TV, I'm blind.
With the drive.
All right, so we got the. I can't.
See this?
Yeah.
That ties Lee into the fourth quarter.
So I mean, it was a close game. You can see the score here is 74-74. Here's Pierce. Again, he had 25 points. He did well down low. Monte Ellis, he was a good addition last season, picked up from the Warriors. Bucks continuing to fight. Score 92-90 Celtics. Celtics, you can see here the replay of Monte Ellis with a nice dish out there. But the Celtics managing to hold on 96-92. Again, some close wins. They beat Washington 89-86. They also beat Washington in overtime. Then this 96-92 victory for Milwaukee. As I said, the Celtics, I think it proves their mental toughness.
Coming out with these small wins, it proves their mental toughness that you can win these close games. Sometimes you have to do that. So, yeah.
Well, sometimes you have to do that. Not every game you have to do that. I'm just a little worried that they're going to do this the entire year. It's going to be a recurring theme. I'm just really kind of worried about that.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that was good talk about the Celtics. We'll send it back to TJ and Liam.
All right, so continuing on that Celtics talk there, TJ. Obviously, they've had a pretty good season so far. Nothing really glaring any direction. What are your thoughts?
You know, I don't think they'll make the playoffs just because of the intense competition in their division. You got the 76ers and the Knicks, who both look really good this season. So I wouldn't bank on them making the playoffs, but you never know. Anything can happen.
I think there's too much talent on the Celtics roster, personally, for them to not make the playoffs. I mean, you look at them right there with Rondo, with Sullinger now,
Yeah.
Garnett, Pierce still, and Avery Bradley is still coming back. We can't forget
Definitely.
about that. I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be that big addition of him just coming in, solidifying the roster, giving Jason Terry probably better chances actually off the bench when he comes in, and giving them more of a solid lineup.
Last year I was really high on the Celtics not making an effort to re-sign Allen or Garnett. I didn't want to see either of them back in Boston, but obviously the Celtics had to give Garnett the other contract because he was playing for a contract you could see in those last few playoff games. But I was very high on not re-signing either of them and just completely redoing this team, basing it around Rondo. But I could see the Celtics maybe trying not re-signing Garnett after the season and then just eventually moving on to a younger team.
I expect Garnett to retire after this season, honestly.
Yeah,
he's getting really old.
Yeah, he has to.
You look at it, he wanted to retire after last season, but the Celtics essentially said, come back, we'll give you a lot of money, and you can stay here and finish off your career with one more season.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's sort of what they wanted to do with Allen. They wanted to get him to stay for a couple more years because, you know, he's not going to stay around for much longer than a couple more years.
I really wasn't a fan of Ray Allen, honestly, last year. I think that they didn't. I think they should have let him go like they did, just because they could have gotten value out of him, possibly a trade. But he was nothing to keep, and the whole dispute between him and Garnett during the season earlier. They showed the video of when they first played the Heat. Garnett went to give Allen went to give Garnett a high five. Garnett just stood there, just completely motionless.
I think other than personally for me, before the Jason Terry signing, I still wanted Allen to be brought back. But once Terry was signed, it really just solidified a reason for the Celtics not to bring Allen back.
Yep.
And that there were just so many problems in that locker room. I mean, you see Jason Terry, he's extremely good from three, just like Allen was.
Yeah.
But he also brings the ability to slash and go to the basket that Allen seemed to have lost over the past couple of years.
He really was. He was an excellent sixth man in Dallas, and now he's
Sixth man of the year.
Yeah, he could be even a better player here because he has just great basketball knowledge and skills and everything.
Yeah, and I mean, you just look at what Rondo's going to do for him, getting all those open passes to him, because when Rondo penetrates the way he does, he draws in a second defender most of the time, the shooting guard.
Yeah.
And that just leaves him wide open for threes, so it should be interesting.
Well, we're going to toss to a break now. We'll be right back for you. Thanks for watching.